first such incident this year. It's the second stabbing on Mumbai's local train in 2026. An earlier stabbing was linked to a dispute over a seat. Commuters and experts have been pointing out that fights over seats, over personal space and door blocking have become more and more common. Assaults and knife threats are also being reported more frequently than before. Many believe that minor arguments are now escalating into see the past. And the latest incident has once again put the spotlight on safety inside Mumbai's local trains. Now, while the local network is known as the lifeline of the city, incidents like these show that serious gaps remain when it comes to passenger security and crowd management. And what are the main reasons behind the rise in violent incidents on Mumbai local trains in recent times? What kind of long-term measures are needed to make Mumbai's local trains safer for daily commuters? To help us understand that, Dr. Manisha Singhal, psychologist, with us on the broadcast. Many thanks for taking on the time. Arvind Kumar Jain, former DGP, also with us. Many thanks, DGP, for taking on the time and helping us put this story into perspective. Before we look at the security angle, let's look at the psychology of it all. Right, doctor? Because you see, this is a case of rising urban rage. This is a case of mental stress, maybe emotional volatility, seeing what happened within a mere minutes. Public transport safety is one angle that we'll have DGP throw some light on. But the normalization of violence, because nobody knew either one before this entire argument happened. And small arguments becoming deadly, becoming frustration, and our low tolerance for the same. Behaviorally, from the psychologist's perspective, what explains this extreme escalation from a trivial argument? It was about whether the door should be closed or open whilst it was raining out there. Doctor, I mean, I can't seem to wrap my head around this.
This clearly shows hot-blooded murder, number one. So basically, there are two types of aggression. So one is reactive aggression, and another one is proactive aggression. So what we can see in this case, this was reactive aggression. The person was not prepared for killing someone, but still he did so. So this was hot-blooded murder, and where the reaction was very impulsive, and even he won't be having this the idea, he's killing someone, or maybe he would have done it earlier as well, but the reaction was impulsive. So this happens generally when definitely the childhood, the rearing and upbringing, we can say that these are very important factors which makes which forms a person's personality and nature. And this wouldn't be for the first time he would have done so, and definitely he would have done it earlier as well. But the aggression, the impulse, the reasons behind maybe some kind of personality disorder, we can say, like antisocial personality, and where in some of the cases we find that hyperactive amygdala is also responsible. And this happens it's a gradual process, and it takes a long, in making the person do such crimes. So
a lot of questions that are coming to my mind, doctor, at this point in time. So many questions that are coming to my mind. First and foremost, I understand and I totally respect the doctor-patient, rapport and confidentiality that you might have. But are you personally seeing a decline in people's ability to handle frustration, a decline in people's ability to handle disagreement, handle public confrontation? Is there a rise in these kind of cases, ma'am?
Yes, there is a rise in such kind of cases, and the reason responsible behind it is having low patience. People are not patient in today's time. They want everything immediate. They want they cannot tolerate any sort of disregard, or they want to have a control, some kind of control, some kind of power. So if they want something in the way they want, so they're not able to understand other person's perspective. Basically, they're not able to understand other person's point of view.
So there is essentially a
this
lack
was
of
not the
empathy.
issue
There's a
he
lack of
has.
empathy there.
Lack of empathy, definitely. Lack of empathy is there.
To not take into consideration the other person's point of view. I mean, I really want to psychoanalyze, Roshan Suvarna and why he essentially did all of this or any of this. But let me bring in DGP here. DGP, you see, a man carried a knife into a first-class compartment and allegedly used it to, kill the other person during a routine argument. This incident, it reveals many questions. What do you think is the most important question that you see the security authorities now need to take a look at? This is about passenger safety as much as it is about, the kind of people that we are, the kind of society that we're turning out to be. But what about passenger safety? Anybody can get on the Mumbai local and anybody can brandish a knife. I mean, is it that simple to kill and take a life these days?
Such incidents are rare. But police cannot be there in each and every compartment. One suggestion has come that just like other trains, the doors should automatically close until the time door closes. The train shouldn't move. That can be done. It will require an investment of a few thousand crores, I am told. The Mumbai trains, Mumbai locals are, railways are planning to introduce such compartments. That will solve the problem to some extent, but carrying a knife and the way this person is behaving, you see his the way he is walking, the way he is behaving after that.
Yeah.
It shows, in my opinion, that this is not his first crime, and he must have done it.
You mean to say these very visuals, DGP, where the man can be seen walking without any remorse, his head is hanging low, and he's simply walking. There's no urgency. I mean, after you've committed a murder, you'd rather be in a little bit of an urgency, in a little bit of haste to get where you are getting. But he is simply just walking at normal pace. Am I reading too much into these pictures? What's really happening here?
No, you are absolutely correct. Had a few passengers dared, they could have easily caught him, because he is not carrying knife in his hand now when he's running away. You see, he has come back. He walks back to the body, and then again he walks away.
Yeah.
So why was he allowed to walk away from the scene of crime when there are so many passengers? This is just apathy. That why
but
should
we really can't blame the other passengers, DGP. I mean, they must be fear-stricken. A man who's just gone on a frenzy, killed a young guy, has a knife in his hand. Who would want to go near that person in any case?
You are correct. But nobody will come forward to give evidence also. That is also a problem. And to build up a foolproof case, to build up a solid case, you require evidences also of local people. So this CCTV footage will be of help. I'm not sure whether this is the entire CCTV footage or some other attacking. While he was attacking, that has not been shown. While I'm told he attacked 3-4 times and was carrying a long knife. Knife you can see in the hand, but attacking part is not there.
Yeah.
If it is there, it's a foolproof case, and I think can be treated as a rarest of rare case by the court.
No, you're right, DGP. There are some broadcasting rules that we also have to abide by, and there is some on-air hygiene that we have to maintain as well. Let's not show those gruesome visuals on air. But if this portion has been collected from the CCTV per se, is out there as well. And I think you raised a credible point. Not many of those people came in to intervene. Rightly so, can't blame them here. But many of them don't even turn up for, witness verification, which is equally important for a foolproof case here on that particular front. Doctor, let me come back to you. Let me come to that psychoanalysis part, which exactly what the DGP was talking about. Those visuals, I don't know if you've seen them, but after the attack and before the attack, he seems to be having a normal day. I mean, if you would say that this was emotionally exhausting, the day was emotionally exhausting for him, for this particular person, maybe he was coming from a tiff-off with his own boss and something like this happened, you would still feel, okay, there seems to be a reason for this particular, hot-headed murder that you just spoke about. But it seems to be like a normal day. And after the attack, he's very normally walking back. There is no urgency, there is no haste, there seems to be no remorse for what he has just done.
Yeah, it seems that this was not the first time, definitely, that he has done such crime. and he's looking very relaxed, and like he would have released some kind of frustration, or he would have, vented out something which he would have experienced the same day, So definitely, and why? But we need to think about it. Why he is so relaxed? He doesn't have any fear, and our laws not very strict. So this question arises here, that if a person can, and he is coming back to the body just to check, and then again he is walking very calmly,
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. And doctor, I do need to understand as well. Let's say tomorrow you're in an altercation with somebody, and are there some telltale signs that you can pick up on, some psychological readings that you can take on, that something fatal might be coming one's way? Are there some symbols, are there some signs that a person can be emitting at that point in time, that you can then choose to, hey, let's walk out of this argument, let's not escalate this further, because the other person is not in the right frame of mind and things can go sideways any second?
We should, seeing such killings and instances, a common person would certainly not, would not feel courageous enough to raise voice or indulge into any kind of argument. So what other people do, what other people generally do, and what in this case also, what people did, they did not come forward. They did not come forward to help that person out, because everyone knows now today's time, and we have a bit doubt about our losses, judicial system, that if they come forward, they try to help the person out, if they try to make the person arrest also this accused. So what will happen to their life, and how would they face, what kind of struggle, what kind of stress, what kind of challenges the person would be facing?
See, doctor, I'm no psychologist. I did study psychology back in the day in college, but I'm not a psychologist, don't have that kind of expertise. But what is absolutely clear in this case is that this man lacks empathy, discounts the other person's point of view.
And certain signs are definitely there. The question you asked, there is a McDonald triad, we call, which shows early signs, and which are the indicators of the people around that person. We should feel alert enough to focus on, especially the family and the friends I'm talking about, whosoever is taking care of this person when he was small. And during the childhood time, he would have definitely showed some kind of traits. The term I just mentioned, McDonald triad. So there are three characteristics. One is chronic bedwetting. The second one is some kind of animal cruelty.
Okay.
And
the
third is mask of sanity.
All right.
Mask of sanity is also, the person doesn't reveal the actual personality of his or hers. So this is also...
Now, you're helping us get inside the mind of the hunter. But I think, just from a superficial layer, what I was saying was that, a nurturing aspect that you said right in your opening submission, that's a major point, and lack of empathy. And all those 3 points that you said, maybe they can help the society understand when to, get out of a fight that might be escalating, and why go into a fight in the first place. I think that was the bigger question. We're becoming so low in terms of tolerating frustration from other people, and the ego comes in the middle and say, how can that person talk to me like this? Look at the road rage cases that we see on the road. DGP, coming back to that entire, door closing setup and system that you spoke about, I think last year it was the same case when many people from the Mumbai local fell down and then they died again. I mean, those are scenes that we saw in late 90s, in the early 2000s, not anymore. Why are we still... I mean, what I'm trying to understand is that stronger surveillance is needed, visible policing is needed, maybe emergency response systems can be created that are better. It seems like authorities are underestimating the security risks here a little bit. Just a couple of months back, DGP, there was a similar case, fight happened over a seat. I mean, thankfully the man lives, but there was another stabbing case on seats, can you imagine? I mean, imagine something like that happening on the Delhi metro.
I have headed GRP in UP. I was ADG at that time. Let me tell you, GRP is understaffed. Half the expenses of GRP, they are paid by railways, and half are borne by the police department. It's very difficult to get that 50%. And if you send the proposal to raise allocation, because now passengers have increased, this allocation is several years old. And but railways don't want to spend money on GRP. They are strengthening RPF, but they don't want to strengthen GRP. That's a very big problem.
All right.
At times, local police stations, local SP, SSP, commissioner, they provide force on their own, extra force on their own payment. That problem is there. Number two, he is a habitual criminal, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The way he is behaving, you see the victim, he is a very innocent boy. I was reading articles, his sister and mother have said that he has never picked up quarrel with any person. He was working at some shop, 2 to 10 he used to work there and then go back to his house. So a foolproof charge sheet should be framed. That's the only way such crimes can be stopped. And fear is, so that some sort of fear element is there in the minds of such attackers.
You're absolutely right, DGP. I think an example has to be set here. There needs to be strong punitive measure here. The priorities are a little bit misplaced with what you told us about the CRPF, the RPF, beg your pardon, and the GRP, and how doctor told us, and helped us psychoanalyze this entire person. But all in all, it seems like a train door cannot be a simple reason to stab somebody to death. And it boils down to, what kind of a mirror are we holding to us as a society where tempers are shortening and, violence is becoming easier and easier by the day. Today it was this young boy, an innocent boy, like you said, Mayank Lohar. Tomorrow it could be any one of us. So let's try and exercise a little bit more compassion. I understand it's easier said than done, but something's got to give on some particular point. I think we're going to leave it at that particular point. Many thanks for joining us, Dr. DGP. Always a pleasure to have you with us. Many thanks for taking on the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, then, shifting our focus here, there is a real major breakthrough when it comes to Indian sciences, and this one needs your attention because for a very long time, India proudly wore the title of world's pharmacy. We manufactured medicines at scale, supply affordable drugs to millions across continents, and dominate the global generic medicines market. But here's the change. There has always been one uncomfortable truth. Most of those medicines were discovered somewhere else. Today, that story changes. Because for the very first time, an Indian pharmaceutical company has discovered, developed and taken a completely new antibiotic molecule all the way to approval by the United States Food and Drug Administration, the world's toughest drug regulator. The drug is called Zanic, and this is much bigger than a pharmaceutical story because this is about India's entry into the elite club of nations capable of true drug innovation. The timing could not be important as well because according to the world, the doctors are fighting a silent war against what are called superbugs, bacteria that have evolved to resist multiple antibiotics. The World Health Organization has repeatedly warned that antimicrobial resistance, AMR, is one of the biggest health threats facing humanity. And globally, drug-resistant infections are linked to nearly 5 million deaths each year. India carries one of the heaviest burdens there. And the challenge is becoming even more serious because the pipeline of new antibiotics is drying up. Many major pharmaceutical companies have stopped investing in antibiotic research because the economics simply don't work out for them. They don't make enough money, which is why a breakthrough like this matters. It is significant. Zanic is designed to fight some of the toughest drug-resistant infections seen in hospitals today. And what makes it unique is it's completely new mechanism of action. Instead of attacking bacteria through a single pathway, it strikes at multiple targets simultaneously, making it significantly harder for bacteria to survive and develop resistance. In global phase 3 clinical trials involving 530 patients across 64 hospitals, Zanic delivered 89% cure rate. That's massive. The comparator drug, meropenem, one of the most widely used last resort antibiotics, achieved only 68.4%. And that's a substantial difference. So to understand what this actually means, what's on the anvil, what's on the cards, Dr. Ankita Baidyar, infectious disease expert, with us on the